So, you've played Pathfinder 2e for well over a year now. You've familiarized yourself with all 20 plus classes. You think you know everything there is to know about this game. You know that as a summoner you need to share your actions and utilize them to move and cast your spells and attack with your Eidolon in the same turn. You know as a fighter which feat to use, when to plan out the press trait. You know all this good stuff. But I bet there's a good chunk of you out there who have played this game for over a year and do not know about the action I'm talking about here today. An action that I think can seriously level up your gameplay, not just like in a fun, flavorful way, but actually giving you mechanical advantage over the monsters your GM is running because of how strong this action is. So why is such a good action not known by so many people? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Paizo never talks about it, and there's no direct support for this action. It's also got some pretty heavy restrictions, so sometimes even when you do know about it, if you don't know how to utilize it properly, you won't get that much out of it. Add on top of that this is an action that rewards creativity, not just doing the same thing over and over again. So what is this action? What is this crazy, secret, super deep action that changes the game but nobody knows about it? Well, it's right in the core rulebook on page this one, the Ready action. I'm honestly curious. Leave in the comments if you did not know or at least forgot this action exists, because everybody, no matter what class you are, no matter where you are, everybody can take the Ready action, and it's useful for everybody. For two actions, you prepare to use an action outside of your turn. Choose any single or free action and designate a trigger. When that trigger is met, your action goes off. This can be any single action in the game. So obviously, the first place to jump is an attack. A great way to use the Ready action is to say, oh, you can't quite reach the enemy, but you know they're gonna come to melee. Get within movement range of them, stride once, ready a strike, and the trigger is when the enemy gets in range. Suddenly, if they walk up to you, you're still hitting them first, even on their turn. This is like a customizable attack of opportunity. And it doesn't even need to be if they get close. If they're already close to you, and for some reason you don't want to attack them on your turn, well, you can ready an action to attack them if they attack you. It is completely customizable. I cannot stress how powerful designate a trigger is, because it can be anything. You can ready a strike in so many different ways. My favorite is I ready a strike if the enemy takes a hostile action. If it seems like they are coming at me, this is especially useful if combat hasn't started yet. If you're in a tense situation and weapons are already drawn, maybe you're the ranger in the back with your short bow drawn, before the role play's even finished, you can ready a ranged strike if an enemy takes a hostile action. Simple as that. I really hope my mic can't pick up those cicadas. They're loud. Now, there are two restrictions, which makes strike not always the best option. The first restriction is that this uses your reaction. If you're already going to attack of opportunity or use your reaction for something like nimble dodge as a rogue, this does get less useful. What makes it even less useful is that, unlike an attack of opportunity, the ready action does carry over your multiple attack penalty. So if you attack once and then ready a strike, and then your trigger is met and you make that second strike, you're still going to be at -5 or -4 if you're agile. But this only applies to attack actions. I was actually just talking to Phoebe Bain about this literally today, literally 10 minutes. I'm not even gonna lie, she inspired me to make this video. They were telling me that their friend has a strategy they love to use indoors, where they will strategically position themselves next to a door, interact to close it, and then ready an action to close it again if an enemy opens it. So all of a sudden the enemy has to move up to them, open the door, their character has the ready action to close the door again. So the enemy spends their third action opening the door again, and then they're just a sitting duck. They spent their entire turn moving and opening a door twice. And this is what I mean by the ready action being as powerful as you can creatively get with it. Things like interact, drop, even a single action spell can all be used with the ready trait. Action, it's not a trait, what am I saying? I can't stress enough how much fun you can have with this. Things like shove, trip, disarm, I guess. Those are all single actions. You know, you can ready an action to trip somebody if they try to run away, which is just so fun. You know, there's a lot of options to aid your non-lethal attempts to restrain somebody, again, if you don't want to do it right on your turn. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not always the best solution. Oftentimes, delaying your turn is a much better alternative. If you want to, like, wait for the bard or cleric to buff you and then attack, you're better off delaying your turn until after them so you can get the buff for your whole turn. But again, it's going to depend on initiative, it's going to depend on the situation, and the ready action is such a powerful situational tool to have at your disposal. And a lot of people just don't know about it, and I think it's a crying shame that Paizo has no support for the ready action. Well, you know what? That's technically not true. They have one piece of support for the ready action, and it is a single weapon trait in the Treasure Vault supplement book, the Brace trait. If you use a weapon with the Brace trait to attack with a readied strike, you deal 2 extra precision damage per damage dice, which is not bad. You know, if you're level 4 and you've got a 2d6 striking weapon, that suddenly does 4 extra precision damage, which 2d6 plus 4, that's really good. That's a lot of extra damage. And especially when you consider that your alternative would be striking twice, one of which probably at -5, I don't know about you, I would take a guaranteed +2 flat damage over an extra strike at -5. Unfortunately, there's only 2 weapons in the entire game that have this trait, and that is the Nodachi and the Longhammer. Very, very cool weapons, but overall, we need more. We need more ready support. And again, this is something that Phoebe Bain inspired me to make this video talking about. We were talking about the 2 new classes that might be coming out for Pathfinder 2E, one of which we are considering could be the Avenger. See, Paizo released this tweet, or at least one of their employees released this tweet, that the 2 new classes are both going to be 3 syllables with 3 vowels each. And Avenger, A-E-E, does fit that criteria. So it could be cool if we are getting an Avenger class to make them all about reactions, and beyond that, all about the ready action. You know, make the ready action only cost 1 action instead of 2, or maybe for 2 actions they can ready a 2 action ability. Add this crazy archetype potential where you take a spell casting class, and because your base class is Avenger, you can ready a Scorching Ray or something. That would be rad. I think even seeing something like a level 13 general feat that lets you ready a 2 action activity or whatever they're called, that would be cool. I think that would be an amazing high level general feat. Maybe it'd be too strong, but remember that ready is not always better. You know, you can always just cast Scorching Ray on your turn. Ready just lets you do it in a more interesting way. You know, imagine you're a wizard and there is a puddle of oil between you and the Ogre King. Well, you could just cast Scorching Ray at the Ogre King on your turn, but imagine how cool it would feel to say, I want to ready my Scorching Ray to shoot the Ogre while he's in the middle of the oil slick. Then you can hit him, and if you've got a cool GM, maybe they'll add some bonus damage from the oil exploding and going up in flames. There's a lot of possibilities, and the ready action helps you interact with the environment so much more. Because that designated trigger is so vague, you get to choose whatever you want to trigger whichever action you want. Hell, if you want to get super strategic and cinematic with it, you could have your ranger, who maybe if they were shooting the enemy in front of you, they would take the -2 or whatever because the target gets partial or full cover. Well, maybe just for fun, you ready an action to drop prone when your ally shoots their crossbow to get rid of that partial cover. That would just be fun. You know, it might not be optimal, but it's a really cool scene that like the ranger lines up the shot, just yells, "Get down!" and your fighter's like, yoink, drops down and the crossbow just nails the kobold in the head. I don't know, lots of cool options. But seriously, I want to hear from y'all. Did you know the ready action existed? Did you remember? Have you ever gotten to use it effectively in your games? You know I love hearing from you. Let me know in the comments. And also let me know what you think about these style of rambling videos. Like yesterday's, like this one today, I'm trying out something very new. I'm trying out more consistent, I guess you could call them low effort videos where I'm just taking a topic and rambling about it because I love to ramble. And I've gotten comments from y'all saying that you love hearing me ramble as like, you know, just like a podcast or something in the background because, you know, the visuals aren't all that important. I'm still going to be working on the high effort stuff. Kineticist is still in development as well as going to be preparing for all of the remaster material. But for now, let me know what you think because these are really fun to make. I really enjoy them. They're low stress and they give me something fun to look forward to. Because I really do enjoy recording these much more than just reading from a book. So, can't wait to hear from y'all. Thank you so much for your support, and hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow with another one. No Nat Once. That was a lazy outro. No, we're doing this right. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, no Nat Ones. There we go. It's not that hard. You've literally been doing this for 4 years.